good. How are you, ma'am?
I,
I cannot see you.
yes, my camera has some problem. I am not able to access it. It comes as
Okay.
access blocked.
Okay. How are you, ma'am? Long time.
Fine.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
I have. This is one of the proudest moment to
Oh,
welcome you.
thank you. Thank you. We are very happy that we are making you proud. That's the best incentive we give for our teachers, no?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. Today, are you on leave? It is a weekend.
Yes, yes. We are having Eid holidays, and today's Friday. Even otherwise, it's off for us.
Okay, okay. Eid holidays. How many days? Up to this.
5 days.
Oh, 5 days.
No, no. It's already done. We had last 3 days, so we are in the verge of closing the holidays and getting back to work. Sadly,
Weekend. Weekend holidays.
yeah,
We get to work.
weekend, long weekend. It was a very long weekend for us,
Nice, nice.
and because of COVID, we cannot even travel. No, things are
Yeah.
changing a lot.
How is the situation there?
Here, it's better than in India. No, in India, it's terrible, but here it's under control. Like we are all vaccinated long back.
Oh, super.
It's been made mandatory by some firms, and sometimes even the government is advising people to take vaccine. For they're good, and it's really good. Here they're doing a lot of stuff to put it under control.
Okay. But after second vaccination, also people get COVID infection.
No, that is different. No, the vaccination is just. How can I say it? It is just like if you study, you'll pass, but still performance matters. No, it's like that.
No,
Even my
are you getting after vaccination also?
Yeah, yeah. My colleague, he came with me, he got vaccinated, and next day he was infected with COVID.
Yeah, that
The
is
very
because
next
of
day.
the vaccination.
Because of the vaccine, but his wife was also infected. So probably that's why he went into 14 days quarantine and all.
Okay, okay.
And he came half of what he was.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. It is quite serious, no? It's quite
Mm.
serious. But unlike last year, this time when all of us were, in complete peril, now it is at least okay here.
Okay.
And even in other places, no, in New Zealand, it's okay. My cousin is in Ireland, it's okay even there.
Mm. New Zealand,
Now,
Australia, they don't have much the patients like this. Much better.
no, now we see a lot of European tourists coming in actually.
Uh-huh. Again. Maybe
Because
third day for them.
yeah, yeah, on the last day of Iftar, there's a cannon firing that happens near Burj Khalifa.
Hmm.
So when I went there, I saw a lot of European tourists who had come and who wanted to, of course, go around Dubai. And Burj Khalifa is one attraction, no? So I saw a lot of people there.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, public transports are now crowded with tourists.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. It is now back to normal. At least I look at it what it was in 2019.
Okay.
And now we are also having one expo, no, Expo 2021.
Okay. 1 minute, Mitra. Gopalakrishnan sir, ask the students to join, participants to join, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Telling ma'am.
Okay. Today, holiday for students also, no?
Yeah, ma'am. That's what we are doing, ma'am. We told students also to join.
Ah,
Just now we are telling them, ma'am. Because anyhow, holiday, no, ma'am. They should join here. We
yes.
told. Yeah.
Gopalakrishnan sir, first years also, it will be very useful for them also.
Gopal sir, நான் சொல்றேன் மேம் சாருக்கு.
Okay, okay.
Yes, madam.
We can ask the first year student also to join, sir. They will be thrilled to know all these things.
Yes, madam. I am putting in the group also, madam, now, immediately.
Yes, ask them to join, sir. This time the first year students, Muthuram, they have not even entered the college.
Yeah, I know.
Even
It's
the
sad,
second
no? They don't get that atmosphere of college and fun.
yeah, yeah. I pity on them. Even the second years, I don't know. Still now they
Yeah.
have not come to the college.
Oh, they how do the semesters and all happen then?
Over online only.
Oh,
Final years, past 2 years, they are not in the college. Last March 20.
yeah. Oh, okay.
From that time, they don't have the college. So without having farewell, without having
Fun.
symposium, they are leaving.
Yeah, no, it's very important, no, to be in that college environment, have fun.
It's the problem.
We are also discussing, no, some of my seniors' kids are all now doing virtual study, so that's what they say. Maybe they'll not even go to school in the future. No, it's sad, no, because you need to go have that changeover. You cannot always sit inside and
Yeah,
working from home is it's a curse actually.
correct, correct. Everybody feels like that only nowadays. First,
Yeah, I mean,
it's very interesting for them because they can be with the family. After that,
no, there are also other issues, no, with the work from home.
yeah, because they won't show the performance. Performance-wise, it is not up to the level like they work in office.
Correct, that is true, and human to human interaction is lost, which means lot of communication fail. No, I mean, even addressing this is okay. We are still talking to people, we are conveying, but maybe you'll not know what people are doing. Maybe they'll go off and just put attendance go off.
So many troubles they have. "43, madam. Once it crosses 75, we can start it.
Yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
One of your alumni is here in Dubai. He's working for Enshama.
Yeah,
Yeah, Satish, sir, Satish, he is Satish. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get his contact. It will be
Yeah.
useful for us.
definitely. You can contact him.
Yeah, because Enshama is.
Very vibrant alumni of EASWARI. Very vibrant.
Oh, okay. When did he pass out?
He was the first batch student, 2011.
2011.
Senior to me. Okay, okay.
Senior to you, but very vibrant. And now he has started his own company there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
And he is assisting our students also in getting in the international internships, placement. And he did his ME also here. I am the guide for his project, and that project also was patented later.
Oh, really? Okay.
That patent also we have got. Now we have to start the manufacturing. Still, this period,
okay.
COVID period, only restrict us. We are planning for that.
COVID is having a lot of impact, no? Too much of impact on everything.
Yeah, everything. Our process are delayed because of this.
It's true.
I am unable to open the camera. Camera is blocked. It's coming.
Maybe it's on your mobile or.
No, in my laptop, I put that antivirus software.
Okay. No, in fact, I was having trouble in connecting my Wi-Fi. Then only I said, okay, we'll connect.
That's the problem. We have to rectify. I don't know whether we can do it now. Is also this time this international webinar, we wanted to give importance to our own alumni students who are performing in a
Outside.
very vibrant way.
Okay.
They are all leading the companies and all. So why can't we make use of our own alumni?
Yeah, because I think we will be more in touch with the advancements, no?
Yeah, advancements. True.
A lot of conventional methods are now obsolete. That is the thing.
That is true. That is true.
Especially post COVID, no, there are lots of changes and too many things.
Yes. This time we are very happy. Our own alumni we can invite as guest speakers. We in that level we have grown. That itself is very encouraging for us.
No, you have all helped us grow, no? That's very important.
It's true. Like you, Mutram, whenever they talk, no, they will be talking about the recent projects. I can see a lot of passion in that. When you were telling that enthusiasm passes to me also.
Yeah, of course.
Get to hear from you about the latest technique.
No. Now, actually, today, what I will be talking about few trends. No, this we are trying to adapt because we are having a lot of international projects, right?
Yeah.
So now travel is restricted too much. So we are forced to adapt to a lot of technology.
Okay.
And sometimes, that becomes very imperative. I mean, that becomes part of the requirement to process few things.
Okay. So I thought when I enjoy, we should our students, staffs, others also can enjoy. That's why this time full of our students.
Students, youngsters, probably we can still
Yeah,
call as
this international webinar. One more series also we will have with
okay,
other people also. Mostly uh, the resource person are our own alumni.
alumni. Okay. Actually, I was keen on listening to Satir's
Yeah,
lecture.
yeah. Can attend that. I will also introduce at that time to him.
Ah, that is all fine. I'll talk to him later.
Muthuraman sir, I'll send that link to you when Satish's session is there, no? I'll
Yeah,
give you
sure.
those
Tomorrow
details.
morning, no?
Yeah. Okay.
What time?
Morning 9:30,
Same.
I think. I'll let you know. Okay.
Sure,
He
sure,
is
sure,
also
ma'am. Please.
there only. He is also there only.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I actually didn't realize Dubai, but when I saw his company's name, then I realized, okay, he's also here.
Yeah. Madam, I think we can start.
Okay, ma'am.
Right?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, kindly give welcome address, ma'am.
You want me to give it? Why
Yes,
not
ma'am.
our students giving that?
No, ma'am. Today you give, ma'am, because it is Muthuraman sir. You just give him welcome address.
You can still call me Muthuram. No need to sir.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning to all. And I welcome Mr. Muthuram, who is a proud student of mine. I want to introduce like that only. Welcome, Muthuram.
Thank you, ma'am.
All your busy schedule, you have accepted our invitation. That itself honors us a lot. This is one
Thank
of
you.
the proudest moments to welcome you. Welcome, and I welcome all the participants, students, and staffs who are encouraging us by participating in this webinar. We will have one more series also in this. You can give your feedback so that we can also refine ourselves and improve ourselves and present in a better way. And I welcome our own students. Please get the inspiration from Muthuram, one of the inspiring student. Uh, he has done his PG in New Zealand in civil engineering, Master of Civil Engineering. After that, he has worked in New Zealand as well as in Dubai. And whenever he talks, he's so passionate. Uh, I will be excited to know what and all he is doing. That's why I wanted that to be shared to our own students and our own participants. This will definitely inspire you, and it will attract towards the construction environment. As a civil engineer, you will enjoy his presentation, and I am also eager to see his presentation. Yes, Muthuram, welcome, and you can start the.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to be invited by you. And I extend my wishes today for everybody because it's an important day for a lot of us. So I extend my wishes to everybody who's celebrating this important day. And I'll just get into the presentation.
Sir, 1 minute, a small introduction about you will be given by our student Sneha. Over to Sneha.
A wonderful morning to all who are gathered here for the day 3 of International Webinar Series on Innovative Technology and Civil Engineering on behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, EASWARI Engineering College. Today's topic for the forenoon session is Advancements, Latest Transformation and Trends in Construction, followed by a Q&A session. Now I take immense pleasure in welcoming our guest speaker, Mr. Muthuraman Arunachalam, who has completed Bachelor's in Chennai with Anna University, then moved to New Zealand for a Master's in Construction Management. He is currently working as Quantity Surveyor at the Mac Properties, Dubai. He has an overall experience of 5 years from the Mac company. We welcome you, sir. Sir, now you can begin with the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sneha. Is my presentation visible?
No, Muthuram.
I've just shared.
Present now, you have to click on.
Yeah, I've clicked on present now.
No, it's not visible.
How come? Is it visible now?
No.
It says your screen is already sharing.
Now it is here.
Now it's started.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay, cheers. So today we are going to talk about construction, a look ahead. Why it is called as a look ahead is there's a lot of transformation that's happening for all of us. Like, the best example is the mobile phone that we have in our hands. So there's a lot of transformation that's happening, and construction, which is an extremely conventional industry, which is a very traditional industry, which dates back to like years and years, ever since mankind has come in. It's a very traditional industry, so we really need to adapt ourselves to what the future requirements are. That's why I say it's a look ahead. So this presentation will be more about introducing you to a lot of trends in construction, advancements in construction technology. This will not be, see, I'm not a research person, so I may not be delving too much into details of a lot of things. This is all available on internet, and some of this which we are also trying to adapt as a firm, as professionals, and trying to put it into practice. So this is going to give an outlook to most of you. I understand most of you are young.
Muthuraman,
Yes.
sir, sorry to disturb you. Under the slide, there is the hide. You can click that, means that will go, that pop-up will go.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah, it is correct, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So this is an accumulation of a lot of facts, a lot of talks in the industry that is put together in a small slide. This presentation will also have some videos that is going to expose you to some trends that the industry is actually talking. Especially post-COVID, what's happening is a lot of digitization is happening. So mostly this is going to be about all that. So delving into first, why we need to look ahead. As I said, we are the largest global consumer of resources and raw materials. So construction industry, probably, a lot of industries are allied under construction. And it employs over 100 million professionals globally, and it contributes 6% of the global GDP. We are the highest contribution of the global GDP. And there's an increase in urban population. So what happens is this is leading to enhanced housing and infra requirements. In fact, last night, incidentally, I saw a video on LinkedIn where the housing patterns are changing in Hong Kong. Professionals are forced to stay in a very small house, and they are trying to come up with innovative furniture requirements, like multiple usage. The same furniture can be used as a sofa, can be used as a bed, can be used as a wardrobe eventually. So such innovations are just not necessarily coming in terms of internet, digital, and such platforms, but even in other platforms. Let us understand that construction is just not about erecting a concrete structure, closing it with masonry. No, it's about a lot of things. How you finish it, your tiles, your ventilation, your furniture, everything matters. Everything is construction. So a lot of coordination is important. A lot of foreseeing is important. So what happens is, because of this, the industry is constantly challenged. There's a new requirement every day. Post-COVID, there's a new requirement. And let's take this example. Like, imagine you're in a family. You're there with your parents. Then when you get married, you bring in your spouse to your family. Then there's a kid for you. So your requirement keeps on increasing every day. The population is increasing. The requirement is increasing. This is the best example that we can, adapt. A very small example, and this small scale example can be converted to a large scale reality, foresee. So what are the challenges that we face? We face two major challenges. One is aging of the infrastructure that I pointed out in my previous statement. As the population grows, you may have to widen your roads, and due to limited availability of space, the construction becomes vertical. As the construction becomes vertical, we'll start facing a lot of other challenges. It need not necessarily be just the size of the building. For example, take Burj Khalifa's construction. As it moved beyond 500, 600 meters above the level, there's a lot of wind force that might affect the construction. So, you need to have different level of precautions. You need to give a lot of safety to your workers, because life is important and such things. And eventually, once the infrastructure ages, you're getting into more complex projects. So the size of the project increases. When the size increases, obviously it's going to be complex. Complex is always welcome because it challenges you as professionals, and this is the mother of all requirements. So this is what helps you innovate. So this is what, for example, imagine when you're constructing a small house, like a single story house, you can do the calculation, the drawing, everything manually. But imagine you're constructing a 100-story building. It's going to take ages and ages and ages for you to, manually sit down and get into the traditional way of drawing, correcting them, getting the approvals and stuff. So that's why we are moving towards digitization. At this juncture, I would like to say that there is a term called Construction 4.0, and this is not my term. This was a lecture that I had attended. And they say the first industrial revolution was agriculture, second was, mechanical, the third was, computers and IT, information technology. Now the fourth one is going towards data, smart technology, we are moving towards a digitized form. So what happens is, as an industry, as a construction industry, we are also moving towards it. So that is what this says. So what happens is, we have a lack of innovation and delayed adaptation to new challenges new trends that come in. For example, you go to the interiors. This is not necessarily in India. I have definitely come across this lack of innovation and delayed adaptation even in New Zealand. So what happens is, when we bring in a new material, for example, you say you go for a fly ash brick, or you go for hollow bricks, people are going to say, what is this? I need a conventional red clay brick. what is this going to do? என்னத்தையோ வச்சு கட்டுறாங்கப்பா. I mean, excuse me for Tamil, but still, this is a statement that I get. என்னத்தையோ வச்சு கட்டுறாங்கப்பா, இடிஞ்சு விழுந்துருச்சுன்னா, is this safe? So because this is a very traditional industry, so we need to have a lot of proof, vindictive of why this material can be used, why this technology can be adopted. Imagine those days we never had huge glass facades, because when you're going to construct a glass, imagine, you can have the best example of all our windows. You have the glass windows, you throw a stone or you hit with a cricket ball, your windows get broken. But these days it's not so. It has come with a lot of innovation, improvements, where your windows are extremely stable. In fact, even if a missile is going to hit you, you're still stable inside the house. So such is the advancement that we are making. And what happens is, one more reason is insufficient knowledge transfer, leading to monetary and time loss. This is because a lot of lessons are being learned. Once we start learning lessons from each of our projects, we need to record them. We need to make sure that it is properly recorded. What is the side effect of the issues that we are facing? So what are the shortcomings that we had, how this can be improved, and how we can take it forward? So these are very important. Again, what happens is, this is a requirement for data storage. So as Ambani pointed out, oil is no more the fuel, data is the fuel. And as he says, soch badalo kismat badlegi. So it's very important that we change our thought, and we also try and improve our monetary enhancements, because we, at the end of the day, we are part of a business. Either I own the business or I work for the business. It's my imperative task to bring in profit in the correct way. Next, shortage of young talent leading to collaboration issues. As you see, with new technologies that are coming in, when we start adapting ourselves to new technology, the older generation, for example, I talk about, we are millennials, we talk about Gen X. They may not be able to immediately adapt to these recent advancements in technologies. This is because, best example is, I use a very conventional watch. This is a very, the regular watch. But then now we have smartwatches. The other day when I was going to pick a smartwatch, I was totally unaware of what it has. But there was a small kid, which was probably 5 years old, which came, he called his papa and said, hey, come on, this is how it works. And I was like, oh my God. So the talent is very important. So as professionals, people who are there, youngsters who are going to be passing out probably in a few couple of years, you may have to concentrate a lot on what the advancements, what the technology is coming. The end of this presentation will also lead you to, certain new courses that are being spoken about. I'm not sure whether they are being implemented currently, but these are being spoken about by a lot of academicians on an international platform. And the next reason that challenges is advancements and latest regulations. For example, you talk about the United Nations. The United Nations gives you a lot of criteria for a company to be certified. And one such criteria is, low carbon footprint. So as a firm, as an individual, we are forced to curtail the global warming. So we are also forced to, curtail the carbon emission. So zero carbon emission is being spoken about. Accordingly, materials are being reinvented. Technology is being reinvented. People are trying to go paperless. Paperless is also a way where you try and reduce the waste generation. So such things are being spoken about. Here's a small chart. This is given by McKinsey and Company. And I found this morning, and I introduced this into the slide, where we are talking about how the new startups are trying to invest on performance and field productivity tools. So this is a statistics that is, being thrown at you. And if you see, a lot of things are being spoken about in the back office, the equipment management, operations, because this is the place where, as when we get into the practical aspect of civil engineering operations, you can always talk anything. I mean, anything can be put on paper, anything can be designed, anything can be spoken about, in chair and in meeting. But is this feasible? Can I do this practically? That is very important. you can estimate anything. You can say, okay, come on, this is going to cost me $100 million. But will it be exactly $100 million, or am I going to have a cost overrun? Why am I having a cost overrun? Because of the technology. So there are so many things that come into picture, and operations and management is a very important aspect. I'm not from operations. I am from quantity surveying, which you all know. Of course, a quantity surveying has pre and post contracts, but operations is something, that's extremely challenging, because you go there, see the reality as it is. This is like reporters giving you factual data from ground. This is what gives you the major stuff. And of course, you have scheduling, materials management, pre-construction. ERP is another term that is being spoken about. ERP, enterprise resource planning systems. This integrates everything, every aspect of construction. Construction has a lot of aspects: quantity surveying, quality control, operations, procurement, pre-contracts, the budget, which making sure that the project is within the budget. A lot of things are integrated: how you monitor the payment, how money is being spent. All this, ERP is an important tool. And ERP is majorly used by procurement people, because procurement involves third party. You're going to have a lot of collaborations, not necessarily from the professionals in-house, but there are a lot. I mean, in my previous lecture with SRM, I had said how the industry is. You have a lot of collaboration with client, consultant, contractor, subcontractor, suppliers. A lot of people come into picture. Too many people. That's why I pointed out in my previous slide, it employs over 100 million professionals globally. We're just talking about professionals. There are even blue collars who work. And that 100 million is, a data, a statistic, which is only for the white collar. And imagine the blue collar. They'll also make mistakes and still be liable for that. So it's a lot of collaboration. That's where ERP will come into picture. So moving on to the next slide, we are talking about the agenda of this entire presentation. And this is like an industry transformation framework. So I will be concentrating majorly on three things. One is the materials, next is the technology, and next one is the tools. So materials, these are just giving you hints. For further study, you can always get into Google, you can read, and you can go and talk about a lot of things. We have concrete, we have geopolymer concrete, we have self-healing concrete. Now, these days, we also have self-draining concrete. And a lot of research is being done. And as there is a new requirement in concrete, there's a new requirement in material, there's new requirement even for the codes. Yes, codes are a standard set, but not at all times these codes can be adapted for everything. There has to be some innovation there, because maybe in your conventional concrete, you can say a 200 thick slab is required. But maybe as we move to advancements, maybe even a 100 thick slab is enough. That is fair enough to protect to protect the loads. You can with all your factors. There are different kinds of masonry. One which is AAC, aerated autoclave concrete masonry blocks. We also have insulated panels that automatically controls your temperature. Temperature control may not be spoken much about in India because it's still fine, but over here there is a drastic change. Outside is going to be 52 degrees, inside is going to be 18 degrees. So in that case, it's a drastic change. So your temperature has to be controlled, and how it can be controlled? One is masonry, because that is the element which exactly comes in touch with the external. It acts as a bridge between the external and the internal environment. Similarly, with masonry comes your glazing. Your glasses, or these days, I think you should be aware, glasses are doubly glazed with an inert gas filling, so that it doesn't conduct your temperature and all that. Next, we have technology and the tools. So this is like materials. We will leave it for I think a lot of people. Geopolymer, I think there was a talk. There's also a lot of research going on, and as I said, I'm not a research guy. I am a I concentrate more into these two. So materials we will leave for them, but technology and BIM, these technology and tools. These are the important targets of today. It will be more of a talk, and after this will be followed by small videos. So we talk about augmented reality and digital twins, BIM cloud-based, and then in tools we have drones, and then road printers and bricklaying robots. So as you see, we are talking about robots, we are talking about drones, we are talking about cloud-based technology, and we are talking about augmented reality and digital twins. These are just a few terms that I'm introducing you all to, but there are a lot more advancement that's happening, some of which I'm also not aware. We're all human beings. We are limited to our resources and access to a lot of things, and these are the industries rapidly moving to adapt to all this. Okay, so now let me elaborate on augmented reality and digital twin. BIM, everybody knows Revit is the best example of BIM, where you'll get a holistic approach of the construction. You can foresee the construction, you can see its facade, you can see every single detail of it. But maybe you may not be able to understand the impacts of it. BIM is going to give Revit, being very specific with due respects to the software, Revit is going to show you, okay, this is how it might look. These are your quantities. You might need this much meter cube of concrete, this much flooring, this much paint, and this much of glazing and all that. But at the same time, I am not sure, because I've worked on Revit, and I'm not sure if it might give you the implications of what it will have, whether it's going to give you about the stress, whether it's going to give you about the the CFC emission, what impact it's going to have. All that is a question mark. So what happens is augmented reality and digital twin. This is where the industry is actually focusing on and working a lot to improve and to get a feedback. So digital twin is when you actually, there are software where you construct your twin. Twin matlab, you construct a prototype, you see what it does. For example, it's an office space. If the office is fully occupied, how much of emission it's going to give? So what will be the impact? These days, construction clients, employers are moving towards certifications. Just like how you have for your refrigerators, it's a 5-star it's a 5-star certification. It's a 4-star certification. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use that. So buildings are also moving towards it. Here in the UAE, especially, we follow something called as LEEDs, LEEDs. This is a certification where you have gold, silver. Why we need to go for certification? Because you're going to have a lot of subsidies. You will have some discounts in your bills. You might have some, you might also become a tourist attraction. So it becomes significant. Your structure becomes significant, which is a proud moment. So that's how that becomes the requirement actually. So here you're trying to understand, what I said about the requirements and the regulations. So that's how this is working. So a digital twin is where you will be able to really see what is happening. It is going to give you the impact of what will happen if this runs, if the structure runs. Augmented reality, we all know, we have seen this. Google is the best example because they're developing some goggles where, you just put your goggles on, you can still try and see the videos in your goggle. This is going to be best suited for travelers. Hopefully this was all pre-COVID. I do not know how things are going to happen post-COVID. And this augmented reality and digital twin, where they become extremely important is once you complete your construction and once your construction is put into usage, that is where problem comes, because with wear and tear, a lot of things change. We have seen a lot of plumbing issues, pipe change, sometimes your AC needs to be serviced, your tiles might get broken, you want to change the window, you want to rebuild your masonry, and there are so many requirements. So what happens is at these places, you will know where to hit the nail on the head. So you will know which one to target. Okay, if I'm going to target this place, what will be the impact? So this gives an enhanced vision for the employers to work on improvisations. Next comes BIM cloud-based. BIM, we all know Revit, but why this cloud-based technology is important? Because COVID, again, forgive me for using this COVID every now and then, but this has changed our paradigms. We are talking about everything virtual. So I myself am addressing you all virtually. You yourself, you're listening to me virtually. I do not know who's there in front of the system. I'm still talking just to my monitor, and you guys are still listening to your screen. So that's how this is working. So we are moving towards a cloud-based system. If you can just go back, there was something called as data transfer. So this data transfer is where here we are all talking about data transfer, data transfer, data. Data is the biggest source, biggest asset. That's why when you see a lot of employers are now investing on data centers. Data center by itself is a different kind of a construction. Regular construction will not work. You need to have specializations in that. So data centers are being constructed. We are moving towards a data center, data construction, data, everybody is talking. Now, what happens with this cloud-based technology is, for example, you try and alter, there's a different specification. I am your client. You have built something for me. You have given me a 3D model. And then I go around. Imagine I'm completely illiterate about construction. I have no idea about Rivet, no idea about how to operate. If I click masonry, will I get masonry? Will I get a pillar? I have no idea. For me, it's just a construction. I'll go in, I'll sneak peek. Okay, this is how it's going to be. So in that cases, what happens when I give you an update? I say, hey, come on, designer, I don't want this. Probably I need to have an arch. You have your sunshades about the masonry, which is conventional India. Maybe I need to have it like an arch. And then when I give that, the designer goes there, he inputs that. And then immediately what happens is you get a notification on your mobile. So it says, so-and-so Mr. Designer has changed it, and this is for your review. So once you go there, you will have a look at it. You will know whether this matches with your facade. Okay, if it matches, then you reply. So what happens is everything is getting automated. BIM is not only about the model and all that. It is talking more about manufacturing and assembly, which is called as DFMA. You will be looking at it later. So what it says is design for manufacture and assembly. This design for manufacture and assembly is a very interesting term because the term itself, if you elaborate it, it's self-explanatory. Designed for manufacturing and assembly. So what happens is I design, I make sure it is a standardized practice. Yes?
The slide is not moving. It is the same slide. Agenda only it is.
No, I'm still talking in the same.
Yeah. Okay. Some people they are given some ideas. That's why I called you. Yeah.
No, because the next slide is going to talk about a video which will have whatever I talk.
Okay, sir. Okay, proceed.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys, to hold you on in the same video because same slide because I will be talking about it and I'm directly getting into the video. I'm not going to have any pictures for you all. So you will go to the video and you will directly see what's happening. So where we are into BIM cloud-based. Along with this, now we are adapting to 3D printing. In fact, Dubai themselves, they've had a 3D printing a model, a small Dubai municipality, office was constructed based on 3D printing. So this is another technology that's coming up. This is going to reduce a lot of labor force. Next, we have drones and road printers. You will be having a video about road printers and bricklaying robo. What happens is you will be able to align yourself properly, with roads that are being laid. I'm not talking about the conventional tar roads. You have a certain terrazzo roads. You'll be able to see pavers that are being laid. A lot of professionals will understand what I mean by pavers, or the other cement tiles that are being laid in a particular pattern. So for all these patterns, you'll be able to get in touch with road printers. Drones, this is majorly to monitor the progress. Because me as a quantity surveyor, I certify the payments, how the cash flows. So it's very important to know whether the progress is being made, is the contractor claiming it properly as per the progress made, and that's how it goes. So with all this in mind, we will have a small look at the construction trends. It's a 5-minute video. Please bear with me, okay? Okay. So the next video is about the bricklaying robo, and let's have a look at it. These are also called as road printers. Okay. So we move on to new interests. So if you see, there's something called as self-absorbing and self-draining concrete. This becomes very important when you have a lot of inclement weather. Like when you talk about places like the UK, the Ireland, where it rains very often, drainage becomes an issue. So we're talking about self-absorbing or self-draining concrete. There is something called as exoskeleton system in masonry that you can further go and research upon, and this is being very well spoken about, especially in the European side. We also have DFMA that you have seen in the video. We have geo-enabled technologies. This is not necessarily for drones, but every project starts with some survey. You need to do a lot of surveys. You try and understand your spatial arrangement of where you're located, especially when you're talking about resorts. So that's where geo-enabled technologies come into picture. And how this is going to take professionals, like what implications these advantages might have on professionals. So I think the slides will end here. After this, we can get into a Q&A session. So if you see new job titles, conventional roles will become obsolete. So no more you will be having a designer, a quantity surveyor, a drafts person, an operations manager. Probably in the future, all these will start getting integrated. Somebody who's able to handle data and at the same time do this. So that's how new conventional roles are trying to be invented in the industry. We also have integrated and a collaborative work style. So you will know where it is happening. For example, you have long lead items. So once your project is awarded, you call something called as a long lead item. So something that's going to take a lot of time to be delivered on site. That's where you target your procurement strategy. So these long lead items, this is the best way. So once you have an integrated ERP, something ERP systems and all, you'll be able to track where your goods are, whether it's held in the customs or it's still under manufacturing. So that is a very good monitoring database. Information is going to be more transparent. You will know where, what, how, who has said this, who has not said that. There's no hidden information, reducing the office politics. Quick decision making. This is where a lot of people fail. We fail to take decisions quickly, leading to a lot of loss, lot of implications legally as well. This impacts the reputation of firms. So it's very important to have a quick decision making. So once you have this integrated and collaborative work style, transformation, transparency, and quick decision making, you're going to have improved project delivery. This is where everybody is targeting on as construction professionals. And finally, you're going to have new courses like construction robotics, advanced materials, nanotechnology in construction. There are a lot of advancements that are coming up. These are at this point in time being spoken at master level and at research levels, but sooner this will get into the basic bachelor's levels as well. So here ends my slides. This was a very small presentation. I think we can go for Q&A session now.
Thank you, sir, for your great presentation. Now we can move on to the Q&A session. The participants are requested to post their questions in the chat box.
Where is the chat box for me? Can I have first a feedback of what you guys understood out of this? Because I wanted to keep the presentation very short. I don't want to elaborate because one major thing is I can still go and talk on all this, but if you're practically not using it, you will not know what it is. So I leave it for you all to open and, leave it open for you to research a lot on this, to, do further studies and try and understand where your research is. I understand I would be talking to a lot of college students, so you will still be figuring out whether to get into design, to get into operations and all that. So we can also discuss all that, but this is for you to take your interests on. Yes, there's somebody. I cannot see anybody coming up. How road printing works? Yes, but where can I have a look at the chat box?
Okay, sir, I will read the question, sir. No problem.
Please. Okay, thank you.
In the right-hand side, you have chat. In that one, it is visible.
No, it's not opening for me. I'm trying it on the right-hand side, but sadly, it's not opening.
No problem, sir. I will read the question, sir.
Okay.
How road printer works? I came to know about this
Muthuraman,
first
sir,
time.
you are seeing at the bottom, not at the bottom, sir. On the top right corner, you can see the chat. Muthuraman, sir.
I am looking at the top, but
right corner, top.
yeah. Chat with everyone. Okay, perfect.
Okay, right.
Thank you. Yes, so how road print works, right, Mr. Milind Gupta? I think that's the first question. Okay, I came about this for the first time. Okay, road printers, you have your tar laying machines, right? You have your machine and then there's a tar and then it keeps on laying. Like that, what happens is you will have a platform where you will start putting in the bricks. If you have carefully observed the video, you will see 2 or 3 gentlemen who will be standing there and who will be putting in the bricks. You will arrange your pattern accordingly. If you want a zigzag pattern, just like your masonry, you have so many patterns, how your whites are being laid. Like that, you have a lot of patterns, and based on these patterns, it will start laying slowly one by one. And this is still under a lot of research is going on. But I have seen this in some European countries. Like not in the video, my friends have actually sent me some clips about it. Applicable for which type of road? It's applicable for flexible roads because it has a pattern in it. No, you have some bricks you have which are called as pavers. So based on this pavers only, you need to put the pavers inside, and only then it will go. Not necessarily the pavers, the dimension and the color, the size and shape and all can be defined by the user, and then you will have to fix in a pattern, and it will slowly start laying it. So this will enhance transportation engineering. This is going to be very easy because you will pick the pavers, you can do the work underground, and then you can fill them back. So it's very easy compared to your tar road. Your work will be very minimal in all this. What are the prerequisites, Sharad Ganesh? Prerequisites before learning BIM. You should have a basic idea of your design, and you should know how the collaboration works. So there's nothing called as prerequisite. You should have a degree first. And only when you get into the industry, you will know how the work flows, what are the implications you have, and only then you'll be able to collaborate. Prerequisite is you should know the basic designs, the basic terminologies of the construction, because a lot of people do not even know that. When you get into the industry as a young professional, just pass out, no, you will not know the terminologies also. You may not know what is a glazing, what is this, what is that. So first try and understand the terminologies. Then you move into BIM. BIM, I would rather say first try to have some site exposure. Try and understand an entire building. Try to understand whether it is a small single-story house or a building. Try to understand an entire project completely. Then if you get into design, I am sure there's nobody who can beat you, because you'll grasp a lot. You'll know what collaboration is, and it'll be really good for you. Mr. Milan Gupta again, sir, material used in only bricks or any other material can be used? No, you also have concrete pavers. These are not bricks. These are pavers. You also have concrete blocks. You can use tiles. Tiles, not the regular tiles that they're using into our, you can also use, there are specific tiles that are being laid, granite tiles that are unpolished granite tiles that are being laid outside, even those in these bricklaying machines. Next. Can somebody give me a feedback about the presentation? Because I know it was a very short presentation, but how I can improve it. Can somebody give me feedback about it? Was this useful? Did you get to learn something? Because this is just whatever is there on internet. So am I trying to present something new to you, or am I still giving you something conventional? I would like to Okay, thank you, Milan. Anybody else? Oh, thank you. I didn't want to keep it long because people start feeling bored. Excellent. I think you're all over exaggerating, guys. Please give me a proper feedback. No, so next time I will work on it more, because last time when I gave a feedback, then I realized I should put in a video. So I was very specific about the video. Was it useful for the youngsters, like the second years, third years? Did you guys found it useful? Are you able to grasp any interest out of it? You can also talk about my experience. Let me share this, especially with respect to DFMA. We had not me, my friend. So they were working in a firm. They are building huge clusters of houses, like some thousands of villas in another country. So what happened is they ordered some kind of doors. Doors were all manufactured. Each door is like 60,000 Indian rupees. Huh? So they ordered thousands of doors like that, 1,800 doors. And what happened was suddenly the door shapes changed. So they have all manufactured everything, and now everything is becoming obsolete. So the company is having a big headache of how to stock these, because they've paid for it. So how they're going to reuse it somewhere, now this is becoming a problem. So DFMA is very important. You should always, as professionals, know whether you get into design, you get into operation, or you get into management like QS planning. Always have a thought about the other aspects also. Have a global idea. Only then you'll be able to do your job better. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Try and understand that this is something personally that I'm telling you. You need to have a global idea of the entire construction. And that doesn't mean if you ask me, I'll say I know construction. No. But your project, try to have a global idea. No need to get into even the minutest detail, but have a global idea how things work. that will facilitate the project to a great extent. Trust me, you will save a lot of time because of that. Okay, Rajendra Prabhu, if you had put slide number, we could have asked questions pinpointing to the doubts. You can still ask, no? You can ask. If you give me the basic of that slide, I will know what is in my slide and I can give you an answer. If you have noted down something. Where do you want me to talk about Rajendra Prabhu? Which one? But I expected one question that nobody's asking. I thought how this will have an impact on the employment. Because when I attended a similar, can we get 3D printing of building details briefly? Mr. Venugopal, I will just address your question, but one thing. When I attended a similar seminar, no, which is called Construction 4.0, a lot of people asked about how this will impact the employment because will this lead to a lot of unemployment? The answer is no. The answer is no because let us understand this is still artificial intelligence. So we need to have people with that intelligence to know what will be the implication and they will be able to address it properly, how the issues can be tackled. So that's why you need to have a proper understanding of your technology and this is not going to lead to any unemployment. So this will in fact create more jobs. That is what is being discussed. So nobody wants to sit home because population is growing and we cannot get into a lot of automations. That's very important. Can we get 3D printing of building details briefly? 3D printing. Okay, so 3D printing is you will have big printers, like very big, how do you call concrete pumping machines, where the outline of your building will be given. Currently, these are being done for very small scale, capsule-like structures, small structures. So what happens is your entire design will be put in there with your openings for, the doors, the windows, everything. That will be fed into a pre-programmed, a programming machine. And your concrete, the grade of concrete, this will be like a screed, it will be put in, and then you will completely have a lot of layers and layers and layers of concrete that is being laid with the dimensions. This try to have a more videos online. If you still want something, just take my email ID. I think I'll give you my email address towards the end of this session. I can give you more details on it. Rajendra Prabhu, in exoskeleton slide, what do you want? What do you want in exoskeleton slide? Do you want to know more about exoskeleton? Rajendra Prabhu? You can also come.
Yeah.
Yeah, come online and talk to me.
You can discuss.
You can come online, show your face and talk to me. That will be apt.
Participants, you can unmute your mic and you can directly ask questions, no problem.
See, not necessarily related to this slide. You can also ask about something else. The slide was displayed for a short wait. Who's that? Could not read all the contents in that. Okay, so I will redisplay the slide for you. Is my slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this, where is your question, Rajendra? Yes. Where's your question, Rajendra? Mr. Rajendra? Arbab, where are you? Yes, sir. So what do you want in that? Can somebody say? Nobody's telling. Somebody wants feedback link. I think it's going to be a bad feedback. Okay, you can give your feedback here, no, Mr. Neelakanta Panda. You can give your feedback here, no, how it was. Just give me, it's okay. We are open for criticism. Was it useful? That's what I want to know.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me,
ma'am.
sir.
Yes, Mr. Harun.
I am from Guwahati, Assam. I want to know little more about this self-absorbing concrete. Kindly, little elaborate, please tell.
Okay, so self-absorbing concretes, they are majorly used in pavements, and even on the roads. So what happens is usually you have a camber and then your drainage comes in, right? Your floods drain, and then you have your drainage system. So in case if your drainage systems are being affected, there's some clogging or something, you will have a lot of water stagnation. So what happens is these concretes, they are actually built with some voids in between it. If I'm not wrong, I'm not a material guy, but this is what I heard. So there are voids, and this is going to absorb a lot of water. So when you have the return period more than 100 years, no, when you have rains with return period more than 100 years, that is when these self-absorbing concretes are used in a very major way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
4
much.
years of preamble concrete is your academic term, but when you get into industry, your academic terms will not work. It is called as self-absorbing or self-draining concrete.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
Muthuram, you can
Yes, ma'am.
brief about as a QC, what and all the certifications required.
Okay, as a QS.
Yes, a QS.
Okay. So people who are interested in pursuing quantity surveying, you can start with your RICS first. So working towards RICS, you need to have some basic experience for 5 years. And then what you should do is, see, quantity surveying is just not about measuring quantities. You need to have some ideas about your contracts management, because this is quite tricky. You're dealing with money. So that is where all your drones and all will come into effect. So you will have your drones giving you progress for payments and all that. So what happens is you need to first study the basics of quantity surveying, even though there are papers, but there are also other aspects of quantity surveying. For example, there's something called as POMI, Principles of Management International. So this defines how you should measure. We can all always measure, but where are the deductions you need to make, what you should be doing, what you should not be doing, how we understand it globally. Because the amount is always a factor of your quantity and your price. So you should know where to adjust to have maximum benefit. So there are quantity surveying courses that are being offered. First do that. Then get into contracts management, try to understand how the contracts work. Then you move into RICS. So once you move into RICS, that will help you and that will give you a leap. That is where you will be sealed as a professional quantity surveyor. Then you can move to arbitration. Once you move into arbitration, that is where you will solve all the disputes, claims and all, for which basics of quantity surveying and contracts management is needed. Then I think you will earn well. So that is how it goes. So this is about basics of quantity surveying. There are courses that are being offered. The best courses offered in Sri Lanka. So you can do that. Then you can move on to contracts management. Contracts management, there is also something called as PMP, professional, project management professionals. So there are courses. I think I have some there's a pamphlet about all these courses. I can share it with you, ma'am. Maybe you can put it across to your students, and then they can start working on it.
Okay.
Any other
Muthuraman sir. Muthuraman sir.
Yeah.
This is Gopalakrishnan from EASWARI College.
Yeah.
Are you working also with the planning section so that you can guide our students also what are the softwares needed for going for the planning engineer?
Planning software is Primavera.
Primavera, yeah.
Primavera. Everywhere Primavera. I have not seen any advancements in planning software after that. But why planning is important is, as I said, in the previous things, long lead item. There is something called as long lead item. Okay, I can give you a best example. In my previous company, what happened was we constructed something called as Dubai frame. That's an iconic structure here. So they had to import the panels which were gold color from Germany, and these panels were delayed greater. I mean, they had a big delay while importing them, and this delay led to a lot of delay in completion of the project itself, leading to a lot of other implications. So what happens is this Primavera will be able to exactly identify what your long lead items are. And especially with respect to quantity surveyor, we work very closely with planning engineers. Why? Because there is something called as your plan schedule. Based on your plan schedule, you will have your planned cash flow. So this cash flow is very important to intimate it to your finance or accounts, based on which they'll hold a reserve for that month. Only then the payments can be released. So if I'm going to say no, this month I'm anticipating only $1 million, and all of a sudden I have a bill from the contractor for $10 million, then it is going to be a major mess, because all projects are being funded. Most of the projects, not all, most of the projects are being funded by banks, where still the employer needs to apply for loans. This is the other aspect of the business. So what happens is, at these places you will really have to understand how the project flows. There's this curve, this curve that goes all the way up and then comes down. So this cash flow can be predicted with planning. So planning, they have a lot of interest in how the project time is. Sorry, they help in determining the delays and all. That is quite tricky. It gets into delays and analysis. But as quantity surveyors, this is important. Anything else? Am I answering to your question, Mr. Gopal? Or
Yes, sir. Thank you. Because I worked as a senior engineer in Dubai only. That's why I asked that.
Where did you work?
Alrostamani Peagle. Alrostamani, I think you know.
I was also in Peagle, Arbab.
But long back, that is more than 10 years back, I worked.
Oh, you were with all this, Mr.
Bardubai, we have B2B one project, and again B2B
Yes,
project.
Tower.
Yeah, B2B tower. There is the one
Okay,
area
okay.
complete, all towers will be there. No, in that area I worked.
Oh, okay. Very good to know that we have worked in the same company. A pleasure to meet you.
I have again further contact with you. Thank you.
Yeah. As professional QS, what are the software that you use for quantity surveying, Mr. Mayank? To take off, takeoff is where you measure, as I said. We have big buildings which are like 80 stories, 60 stories. So we use something called as Plan Swift. So you'll be able to really identify where the elements are. This will help you to count the doors. See, as civil engineers, we'll just not be concentrating about concrete and masonry. Even doors are important. The light fixtures are important. The sofa is important. The artwork is important. All these are important. So there's something called as Plan Swift. This software is very easy, and you will be able to like count and then get into it. Milind, for calculating quantities of items other than Excel, which software can be used? Plan Swift can be used, because report generation, there's something called as report and estimating. So in that, if you click, you will get all these quantities if you define them properly. And you can also feed in, for example, you're measuring your length of the wall, you can fill in the height of the wall, you can fill in the deduction, you will directly get your quantity of the wall, based on which you can calculate your plaster, you can calculate your painting. Floors can be, it's paid or free version. You have a free version for 14 days, and then it is paid. I think it is around $5,000 per license. I'm using my company's. My company is very generous enough to provide me with that, but it's around $5,000 per license. There are also other lower versions. Probably you will get it for a better rate. You can go just type Plan Swift and talk to them. They are very user friendly. They will answer your questions, and they'll also give you free training. But that's a very good software, especially for review. If you are a professional quantity surveyor, you will know, because always once you give your quantity, somebody will come back and ask, where is this? So that time, you have to put a presentation and say, here it is. So that's very important. Review is always important. As we said, data is very important. That's why construction people are investing a lot in, data centers. So data is very important. And this data has to be stored properly and has to be communicated, for which Plan Swift is very good. Next. I see only 2-3 people asking questions. There are not many people who are asking. I think they're all very afraid of it. Ma'am, you're not audible, ma'am. Yes, yes. No, you're still not audible. Sorry. Milind, I will give you my contact details.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible, ma'am.
This is my email. You send me email to this, and then I can respond to you, and I can share even my mobile number on this email, Milind. Ma'am, your voice is not audible. Somebody ask questions, no? See, I very specifically had this presentation planned for 1 hour because the other half an hour we can talk something on, what you want further. It was very nice to know Mr. Gopal and I, we worked in the same firm. So at least somebody please come up with some talk. See, understand, you should always ask questions. Otherwise, in this professional world, it will become very difficult. So always talk. Ask some questions, please. Any topic that can be taken for PhD from this session. That's interesting. You can, I don't know because I have still not thought about PhD. But majorly what happens is collaboration issues are happening, especially BIM. So probably you can get into BIM and do more because, this BIM will be able to give you an integrated version of all of this. You can try and, collaborate with, the IT and try to bring some solutions that will enhance, all this manufacturing and all that. Probably, you can come up with novel ideas. This is my opinion. I've really not thought about it from a PhD perspective, but you can still do. PhD need not necessarily be in materials. There are also people who are doing PhD in so many aspects. Like for example, delays of projects is a very big dispute. I think Mr. Gopal will concur with me. So delays is a big thing. You can work on that. Mr. Sharad Ganesh, in Dubai, what construction jobs are open for grab if we have experience? Market is down now. So what experience do you have, Sharad? Can you please come online and talk to me? Can you unmute your mic, Mr. Sharad Ganesh? Chatting will not work. Just come online so that we can have a quick chat. What about economy of the project? What do you mean by that? Economy of the project means like, can you elaborate more on your question? If you have experience, you can find job. Is there any software to monitor health and safety? No, I have not seen any software to monitor health and safety. Health and safety, still people are being employed because health and safety is something that...
Yeah, it is the practical engineering work. We cannot monitor that work through the software.
See, health and safety is when, you will not know if you're, for example, you're leaving your rebar without a enclosure, without a safety, you will not know. You don't have any software for all that. Only if you go there, you will know. How the cost effective the project? Sorry, sir, I can't actually hear a lot of sound noise. That's why I'm texting, sir. Okay, please text Sharath. Who's this? Surveying classes by Engineer Gulam. I will come back to you once I answer Mr. Sharath, please. Sharath, can you tell me what experience you have? Mr. Sharath?
Sir, Muthuraman sir.
No, sir, ma'am.
Before Sharath sir responds, HOD ma'am told to ask you, what is the role of AR and VR in quantity, QS, quantity surveying?
Artificial AR and VR, can you say artificial?
Augmented reality and virtual reality. Role of augmented reality and virtual reality in quantity surveying. HOD ma'am asked to explain a little.
Okay. Augmented reality and virtual reality.
Since
What
her
will
mic is
happen
not working, she called me and told.
no problem.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So, okay, augmented reality and virtual reality. This how it works. See, first that will impact your design. So every aspect of quantity surveying is actually based on design. So the first impact it will have is on your design. So you will know how to alter your design. So most of this augmented reality and virtual reality will be used either in the design phase or in the operational phase. Quantity surveying is something that will take part during the execution phase. So your project is always split into 3-4 stages. One is your design concept stage, your design stage, your execution stage, and then your handing over, and then operational functional aspect of it. So in your execution phase, for quantity surveys, we may not be using it because it will already impact your design. From the design, we'll be taking the quantities. I think it's self-explanatory. So your design phase is where they concentrate on. But when you get into repairs and retrofitting, that time this augmented reality will be of great use. Probably Mr. Milind, who asked me for PhD, you can concentrate on augmented reality on retrofitting. Retrofitting is really coming up, especially in New Zealand. I tried to get into a lot of internships in retrofitting. Sadly, I was unable to. You can maybe think about augmented reality in retrofitting, something like that, and you can come up with PhD if you're still keen. Okay. Ma'am, is that okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Sharath Ganesh has posted his.
I'm looking at it. Sharath, currently I'm doing my construction management in Nikmar with 1 year experience at site. If you're in Nikmar, Arbab, I think Shobha will pick you for jobs in Dubai. You can get into site engineering, but you can also progress towards procurement. So 1 year experience is okay, but it's not like very, you'll not immediately get into very good positions. You will start from a junior engineer, something like that. You'll still have that recognition. I'm not demotivating you, but what will happen is, you see, construction practices will vary between territories. In India, it will be a different practice. Here, it will be a different practice. In New Zealand, it's different. In Ireland, it's different. Probably in Russia, it's different. In Africa, it's different. So you will still have to come to site and try and gain some experience on site. And what you'll have to do is from there, in fact, my friend who did his master's in Nikmar, he got into this Shobha. He was a site engineer there, and then he was promoted as a senior procurement engineer in probably 2.5 years. He had a very good growth, and he was in fact brilliant enough to grow to that level. So you can get a job in Dubai, but currently the market is poor. So that is where you need to have your caution on. Hema Chandra 3008. Which country best for higher studies for ME? I am interested in design. See, with respects to design, there are 3 countries. One is Australia, one is Singapore, and one is India. So these are the 3 places where designs are very strong. You can study your designs there. But also UK is very important because in Gulf, majorly they're trying and adapting to British standards. Especially in Dubai, we are all working on British standards. So if you have any idea of getting into design and then, moving into the Gulf, then you should probably move towards UK. And you should do your master's there in design. But construction management professionals who can get into UK, I think that is the best choice you are blessed on. UK is the best place to have construction management degree. Fly to Dubai, you'll make good money. At the end of the day, it's all about how much salary you get. So it's as simple as that.
Muthuraman sir, this Hamchandra is our second year student.
Okay, very nice to know then. So try to work towards, I don't know what your future goal is, whether to settle in India or you're planning to migrate elsewhere. If you're planning to migrate, I would say Australia is a very good place, because you study there and then you'll try to work and you'll get a PR. UK it's very difficult. So then if you're having ideas of getting into Gulf, probably Saudi or somewhere, that's where it's picking up. So in that case, go to the UK and try to do your masters. Mr. Milind Gupta. Sir, nowadays it is very essential to know software related to civil. What if one does not know the software for the job? You will be thrown out of the job. As simple as that. That is why this presentation was targeted on software. Even though we are construction professionals, understand that software is a tool. So you will still be able to, you still need professionals who should know what design is. Only then you will be able to take the, put the software into proper use. Otherwise, it's of no use. It's just a tool. Remote battery illama நம்ம டிவி பார்க்க முடியாது அந்த மாதிரி. It's sorry, Mr. Milind, without battery you will not be able to operate the remote and watch TV. So software is like your, the remote. But still, as professional, you should know what, where, and how. Sharad Ganesh, since we are used to construction practices in India, how will we be able to know or learn about the practices of other countries? You should go there. You should migrate. You should migrate there. And see, for example, let me give you a practical, frank talk. If you want to know about Dubai, you should work in Dubai or you should get in touch with a Dubai professional. If you get in touch with a Dubai professional, for example, you're getting in touch with me to know about Dubai. Seriously, nobody has the time to sit and teach you. So what you will do is you will get into companies like Shobha or Shapurji as a trainee site engineer. They will train you properly. Once they train you, I think you can go ahead. In fact, Mr. Gopal would, agree with me. Rostamani Pigal is a very good firm that will train you. I had a complete exposure of quantity surveying from estimation to post contracts only from Pigal. I always give my credits to Pigal and the person who took me into Pigal.
Yes, sir. They will give training to everybody properly. Yeah. The thing is, from India, they should get at least some minimum 2 or 3 years experience, and then come to Dubai. Means they will survive easily. They will get the job easily. That is my point of view.
That's true. So you should have
other thing is also, here we are working as a senior engineer. In abroad, they will give the junior post only initially, because they are not accepting our senior experience and all. They are accepting our they are not considering the international experience. That is the Indian experience. They are not considering. It's very low only. That is my experience I got from the Dubai.
No, I agree to what you say. See, in fact, a lot of people they look at my passport and they say, okay. And then when they get to know, oh, you're a master's from New Zealand, then the perspective changes. So, yeah, that is all, the demographic aspect that we cannot change. That is with people. Mr. Ishwar KN. I'm interested in doing masters in design, sir. We have a construction business and I need to maximize my knowledge so that I can run it efficiently. Provide a place where I can get both theoretical and practical knowledge equally. Okay. Ishwar, see, you have a construction business. Why do you want to get into design? That is my question first, because design is generally by design professionals, which is outsourced. That is by the consultant. If you really want to maximize your profit and run your business efficiently, you should get into construction management. You should know more about claims. You should know more about how money flows. Only then you can maximize your business and run it efficiently. Design, I don't think you need to get into masters in design. This is my opinion. You can still talk to people. If you still want to enhance your efficiency, and if your business is in India, you do your masters in India, because you will still be following the IS codes. So in that case, you need to do your masters in India. Maybe you can try IIT, or you can get into good places. I think even Ishwari is offering. You have Dr. Lavanya, then what else you want?
Muthuraman sir, he is also our second year student. Ishwar is also our second year student.
Okay.
Ishwar, why don't you ask directly? Why are you texting Ishwar? Talk to sir directly, Ishwar.
I am also guiding properly. Yeah, I am the counselor for him. I am also guiding properly to Ishwar. Yeah.
Yeah. Then if your business is in India, you try to know the practices in India. No point in doing outside. This is of no use.
Okay, sir. Shall we close the program?
Please, if everybody is happy, then we can close.
Yeah,
I'm
it is indeed a very informative and interacting session, sir. Over to Sneha.
Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place our on-record hearty thanks to Mr. Muthuraman Arunachalam for his efforts towards the topic, his own ideas, and elegance of explanation. I also extend my gratitude to HOD ma'am, faculty members, and participants for their fullest cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajendra, for your
Muthuraman sir.
compliment.
Thank you.
Mr. Gopal will get in touch because
Yeah. I am also working as a professor in civil engineering here only, Easwari. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get
Nice
in
to
touch.
hear you. Okay. Thank you for coming over here and giving a nice
Thank you,
presentation.
guys. Thank you for patiently going through whatever I have, blabbered all the way. Everything is available online. My email ID has been shared. In case you want something, send it. Okay, if you want more details, you can always email me. I can try and share whatever is available with me. And Sharath, if you still want to get into, Nikmar, from there you want to get into Gulf, get in touch with me on LinkedIn. And once you finish, then let us see how we can take things forward. I cannot promise you a job in my own firm, but I can probably link you to other people. Your area of interest, not necessarily into building, it can even be, into transportation. So many things are there. Civil engineering is vast. We can see what can be done. I can put you across with professionals. Okay?
Muthuraman
All the
sir?
very best. Yes, ma'am.
Muthuraman sir, kindly stop your presentation so that we will present thank you slides, sir.
Oh, okay, sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation and giving your lot of time for us and making everybody so much interactive. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Chandrakanta, thank you very much because I've been troubling you very often with a lot of messages. So thank you for being very
It's my
patient.
pleasure.
And it was a pleasure talking to you, ma'am. All the very best. God bless everybody and everybody stay safe. That's very important.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Dear participants, today 4 o'clock we have our next session. All of you kindly join on time. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank
Please
you all.
send me a record of this and the feedback also to me. I would be very happy with feedback. Okay.
Sure. Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, participants, we have in the afternoon a session by Dr. S. Neelamani, senior scientist, okay, regarding coastal infrastructure development. So afternoon, please join everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you.